My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to episode number 6 of the Japanese themed playthrough on easy mode Transport Fever 2. And we're starting today and we're following our train here that we set up last time out, and this is running between Mima and UWAJIMA, and I've lost it. No, brilliant, never mind. Let's bring up the UI because now I can't reactivate the follow cam, so there we go. So much for that introduction. Anyway, all I want to do is get out of that tree, and I messed everything up, so good job. Probably a foreboding of things to come today, so yeah, let's see how we get on, shall we? So yes, this is a line that we'd set up, if you remember, because the plan was we're heading out via a passenger line initially to the town where we have the machinery factory quite nearby. And the route we'd laid out, we were going to go from Mima over to Akanmar, and then I think we're heading this way. I think this is the right way. It's such a big map, you know, I forget where I am. Yeah, that's right. We're coming down here. So basically hopping from town to town. So Akanmar, Seo, Yamada, Wakayama, and then finally into Yawatahama. And that's obviously where we have our machinery factory right here. The plan is, of course, as I alluded to last time, once we've got the passenger lines set up all the way down here so that we have that natural expansion on our network, we'll run a freight line alongside the passenger lines. We might deviate from place to place. For example, we don't want to plough a busy freight line straight through the centre of a town, so we'd like branch off around the edges of the town. But the main aim is to follow the route and get all the way back into UWAJIMA over here. So yeah, there we are. That's the long-term plan. However, there's a few other things we can do in the interim. You know, we don't have to focus solely on that, of course. One of the things I would like to do, and something I mentioned, I think it was in episode number 4, and that's to demolish an area in UWAJIMA to make space for a central bus/tram station, terminus, interchange, you know the sort of thing. And this sort of area here would be pretty ideal. It would cost a lot because there's a lot of residential buildings around here that we're going to have to remove. But it would give us a central point in UWAJIMA from where all our lines, we'd obviously rerun them all, and they would all radiate from this central point, including obviously out to the station and the one that we have going over to Uzumimachi as well. So I think we'll make a start on that today. So yeah, well, what we'll do... Oh, 2 million just for that stretch of road alone. Was it 2 million? It was 2 million. That's 2, that's 4, that's 5. I think we're going to have enough, but it's going to be close. Let's see. Yep, confirm. We'll pause it, of course, because we're going to have to demolish this bus stop here, and that's going to mess up the line that we have. Can we afford this? It's going to be tight. Oh no. Now we can do it. Look at that. No problem. Just about. Just under 1 million left over after all that demolition work. We've stranded all these people in the middle of what we could, I suppose, call Central Park. But no, it's not going to be a park at all. It's going to be our passenger interchange. So let's get that constructed. And we're going to keep it paused simply because we don't want the AI to start building back before we're in a position where we want them to, essentially. So, yeah, let's get started. And we'll do a rather modest one to begin with just the 4, in fact, how many bus lines do we have around here? We have the one, I think we have 2 through town, 1 to the state. In fact, no, I think we have quite a few. 1, 2. You know what? It'd be easier if you click this, wouldn't it? And just go on the visible ones and bus. So we've got Uzumimachi Station. No, we don't need that one. We're not interested in that one. Why is that one showing up here? Uzumimachi Station. Did I? Oh, maybe I could just see. Where is Uzu? Yeah, just see that corner of it there. Never mind. Carry on. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, a 4 platform station wouldn't be enough. We're going to need more. We'll go for 6. And if we put it right in the middle, the terrain around here is reasonably flat. So we should be okay on that front. And we'll pop it just, yeah, right about there should be perfectly fine. Now that I think about it, we probably want to include tram lines, so we'll activate those as well. We might not be using them right now, but it's worth having them there ready to go. And then we'll configure it. Do we want to expand the passenger platforms? Just maybe one extra tile on either side. We should, well, yeah, we'll be able to afford it. We may as well. Gives you that extra boost to capacity, so it's never a bad idea. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. So then we also want a second street access on that side, of course. And yeah, that should work for now. In the future, we might have extra entrances and exits for the vehicles, but for now, just the one on either side. That should be fine. And this is called Inagi Street. Well, we'll change that, and this will be UWAJIMA Central Exchange. Yeah, why not? UWAJIMA Central Exchange. And then all we have to do is just connect the roads to the town network. So we'll do that. We'll go for the tram tracks. Again, chances are we're not going to be using them anytime soon, but at least they are then there ready for us. Obviously, they're not electrified at this point because we don't have the technology. How much is that going to cost? 200,000. Yep, we can afford it. And it keeps it in line with that junction, even if it is coming in at the angle. That's fine. It's better than having a junction here and then one here and having this road go straight, because you'd have too much traffic building up with all the junctions in quick succession. So yeah, that's what we're going to do there. What's that done to our bus lines? Well, the blue line, which is the first line over to the station, now includes this stop here. I think we could get away with having just the one service from here to here without calling anywhere else. So these stops at Mine Road and Uraso Road, we can probably get rid of those and just have it do that. Why are you not showing up? Where's the blue line gone? What's the problem? I don't see. Why has that line disappeared? Oh, there it is. That's better. Okay, so that's what you're wanting to do by default. Well, what we can do is the usual trick of just chucking down a few waypoints in the town, and this will just steer them around a more reasonable route, shall we say. So we'll do that, and we'll put, say, a waypoint just before that crossing. Obviously, it's a zebra crossing waypoint, so it would make sense. And if we have this run this way, and we basically want to encourage it to come up here or up here, and basically head up this way. And what we'll also do is we'll put another waypoint just there, and I hope that should be enough to encourage it to do what we're wanting it to do. So let's add station. Why has it disappeared again? Why is it not coming up under the bus lines? That's odd, because it is a bus service. Is it classing it as a tram service? Oh, it is. That's why it's classing it as a tram service. I'm not sure why it would do that. So yeah, it's already coming this way anyway, but we will include this waypoint in its orders, just so it doesn't change its mind later on. You can use the outer platform. That's neither here nor there, really. And that should work. I really don't know why it's flagging it as a bus service. Perhaps if we start, it would re-recognize it as a bus route. Yeah, there we go. No, it's not. It's still recognizing it as a tram. Is it a tram? No, it's not a tram, is it? It's a bus. Sure it is. There's one of them. Let's have a look. Are you a bus? Well, I say a bus, it's a troika. Yeah, you absolutely are. Yes, I'm not sure why you're calling yourself a tram line, but there you go. Anyway, that's the first line done. We should go back to the visible ones again, and we'll go for all of them. So we can probably rename this UWAJIMA Station to... In fact, yeah, UWAJIMA Central Stroke Station. Does that make sense? Basically, it's going from the central station, well, the central exchange, to the station. I think it makes sense. I'm going to go with it. I'll probably forget what I'm doing there in a couple of episodes' time, but there you go. Right, so the other buses really want to be interacting with this central exchange. That's why we've built it. The next one we really want to head over here is the intercity bus service that we have heading out to Izumimachi. So at the minute, this is the station in Izumimachi. Where's this one? Kitahiroshima Road. That one is also in Izumimachi. So it's only the one in Honjo Road that is within the bounds of UWAJIMA. So what we're going to do, again, pause it quickly. And we're going to have it head into here. So what way are you going? You're doing a nice thing over here. You're going around, obviously. And as you come into UWAJIMA, you're coming this way. Heading into the station before heading back out again. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I might drop you onto platform 2. Like that. And that's all good. That's that one taken care of. We have this service as well, which goes from the station, but this goes around the town. We'll keep that one roughly as it is. However, what we might do is if we can fit a call into here in without it messing everything up, then we'll do that as well. And I'm thinking if we, after Mashida Road, come down here into the station, and we could then head out to Wakayama Road. Let's see what you're going to do about that. Pretty much what I wanted you to do. So I'm happy with that. So yep, you can also call into there as well. So we have the regular around the town services now as well. I think perhaps what we'll do, this stop here on Kofu Road, we shall get rid of that and instead replace it with a call into the central exchange. Like that. That's keeping it nice and tidy going in and out, which is nice to see. And then the last one is bus service 02 for UWAJIMA. And what are you doing? You're going from there to there. How popular are you in terms of uptake? We could probably get rid of that. It was very popular initially, as we can see. However, its demand has decreased quite substantially. So I'm of a mind to actually get rid of that bus service altogether. It was only a temporary one to deal with the amount of people wanting to go between these two stations. So yeah, we'll get rid of that. So we want to go to the vehicle manager first of all. We want the bus service for UWAJIMA 02, which is this one. We shall sell all of the buses, or the troikas, and then we can go back to the line manager, and we can actually delete that line now. There we go. So this stop now is completely redundant, so we can get rid of that. There's no need to have that there. Are you being used by anything? No, you're not at all. So again, Uraso Road can be removed. What about you? Honjo Road not being used, you can go. Mine Road not being used, you can go. I think all the others are in use. Is that one in use? Yes, it is. Yep. There we go. That should work. So let's start the game once again. Lost quite a bit of money doing that, but we've already started to build it back up. Almost just under, well, it's just dropped down. I would say it was just over, not just under 1.5 million. Now we are just under 1.5 million yen. So good cash flow, but it is easy mode, so that is nothing to get too excited about. Not like we've done something super amazing to cause that. It's just you're just playing on easy mode, so it's very easy to get the cash flow, as the difficulty title implies. There we go. Just a quick drink of coffee there. Right. So what next? So that's all done. UWAJIMA for now is pretty much okay in terms of its mass transit system. This one is a popular service. I have already doubled the amount of troikas we have here. Well, I didn't double it, I added another 4, you can tell that here. Most of them are 3 years old, then we have 4 down at the here. Down at the here? We have 4 down at the bottom here, which are only a month old. So that's just to, alleviate the waiting times. And as we can see, we've only got 1 capacity across our entire network on that service. So that's proving popular. And it's proving a nice little money earner. It's never going to be a game changer, of course, because it's only a bus service. They didn't never make millions for you. But a little bit of something is better than a whole lot of nothing. Okay. So we'll have a quick check on how this service is doing. The train, yep, it's made its first drop off. Obviously, we were following it along this stretch here in the introduction before I messed it up. So it's dropped off and now it's heading back. How much did it make on that delivery? 137, and that wasn't a full load. I think it was 13 people. How many do we have waiting for collection over here? 32, so that will be enough for a full load. More than. So at some point, very soon, we might want to consider double tracking or putting a passing loop in on this little line here. Especially if this uptake continues in its current form. Oh, what's it up to now? Oh, it's still 32. I thought there was only 2 icons there, not 4. I was clearly mistaken. But it looks like we have a lot of people wanting to get to the station. Kochi Road, is that the station stop? It is. In fact, I'm going to rename that to Station Street. That way, when you're looking at their destination over here, you know, okay, they are going to the train station, fair enough. But it might be worth doing that for the other stops outside of a train station, such as this one here is in Izumimachi, get your words out. And then we'll call it Station Street again. It doesn't matter, you're not going to get confused between the Station Street in Izumimachi and Mima because the buses don't intermix. So, where are you all going? Station Street, lovely. What about you guys over here? Oh, in fact, most of you are going over to UWAJIMA. But yeah, it's a nice way to tell if they're heading to your train station or not. I like to do that. You don't have to do it, of course. That should already be called station. Indeed it is, so that's fine. Where are you all going to? Akai Road. Which one's that? Stop number 6. So that's going to be all the way back over here. So basically, you guys are going to be going all the way around here, taking up seats here, blocking them off until you get to here. Well, that means, or that to me, says we could do with a counterclockwise loop on this service, which obviously heads in the opposite direction. It might not be counterclockwise, it might be clockwise. In fact, it would be clockwise because the one we have at the moment is roughly counterclockwise, but you know what I mean. One going in the opposite direction, so the people who want to go from here to here aren't taking up the seats when people want to get on here and over here and so on and so forth, but we'll come back to that. Let's just quickly head over to Iwanamori, and again we're going to rename this to Station Street just for the same purposes as before. Just nice to see where your passengers are wanting to get to. Although we don't have any waiting. Oh no, we have one here. If we can just click it there. Shirohishi Road. I don't know where that is. Where are you? There. So you're just going across the river essentially. Okay, fine. 55 people waiting for the shuttle service. We already have 2 trains running on this one, I believe. Do we have 2? Yes, we do. How are you on fire? Wow. Yeah, lovely. Nice money earner. Obviously, as the trains get more and more powerful, increased capacities, increased frequencies, top speeds and rates, then that's only going to grow and grow and grow. So that's all fine, yeah. Okay then, so we may as well carry on where we left off. And that's heading now from Mima over to Akanma. Now we can see here, we've got quite a formidable ridge to contend with here. Now the obvious option is to tunnel straight through. In fact, what we'll do, if we get up the contour layer, and over here in Akanma, what sort of height are we at? Height at cursor, 0.1 meters. Oh, that's because of the scale there, so we're going to have to change that. So let's go into the settings. Is it in interface? I believe it is. Distance unit, it's not that one, I don't think. Is it that one? Meters, that's what we want. I think that's how it does it. Let's just double check. So if we go back into here now, yeah, that's better, look. So yes, we're around about 100 meters, between 1 and 120, say. And over here, I'm going to guess we're quite a bit lower than that. Well, not really. So I think we could basically plough straight through. I don't know if we'd be able to afford to do that. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee we wouldn't be able to afford that, not at this stage. But the plan would be to tunnel through this mountainside here. The only other option really is to have a winding train line that climbs up. summits the mountain and climbs back down, but that would just massively increase the amount of time it's taking the trains to get there. So I think we will just go for the tunnel option, even if it's not something we're able to do right now, which it clearly wouldn't be. Although saying that, we've got a coal mine here which we might need to use, and in terms of our free real estate, we don't have much flat land to work with. So there is an argument to be made for actually bypassing the town of Akanmar and heading straight to Shinjo. Or was it Seo? It was Seo, wasn't it? Seo, Yamada, Wakayama, yeah. So we could bypass Akanmar for now and have the line connecting from there down that way. Eventually we would obviously put a little small station out here and a little shuttle service just back and forth. But for the quote-unquote main line that we're currently constructing, I think we'll bypass Akanmar and instead head straight for Seo. Now we have a lot more room to deal with here. We do have a lot of industries scattered about, of course, and we want to be mindful of dropping off the goods here, although the bread or the food, whatever you want to call it, that would be handled by road vehicles because we have all the industries nearby. Yeah, we've got 2 farms and the production plant here, so we don't need a train line for that. For the fuel we would do, and I think the fuel is only produced over by UWAJIMA, so that line that we're building eventually, the freight line from the machinery factory over to UWAJIMA, could also be purposed to bring the fuel down eventually. We have these 2 goods here. Again, I don't think they're produced locally, so we are going to be looking at a cargo station to handle those. And of course, the iron ore, or mine de fer. Yes, we'll rename that eventually. That will need a station connection, as will this one over here. However, I think what we'd likely do is, would it be too much of a stretch having a large central cargo station over here like we have at UWAJIMA, which handles the iron, the tools, the bricks and the fuel, and perhaps even ships out some of the bread? Possibly not. We could have little small shunting lines to those industries, but it means our main cargo line, we don't have to worry about it hitting everything. We could have a central point for the cargo line, and from that, like I said, we could have shunt services to the mines. The food factory would likely be done by road vehicle to the station, but this quarry, the oil mine over... Oil mine? That's not the terminology. The oil well. We have a tool factory here. But again, we could have a shunt line, because it's a fair old distance. It doesn't look it, but it's a large map, and it is a pretty distance that, and doing that by road vehicle, especially in the early game, probably not feasible. Anyway, enough hypothesizing. That's for the future. What we want to do is think about how we're going to get a passenger station in Seo and how we're going to have the line run through into Mima. Now, we have a lot of flat land to work with, and I think, bearing in mind, of course, we've got to get the line through here. If we put it on this side, I think that would be a bad idea, because not only do we not have much room around here to get the train line through, but we then also run the risk of, even though these aren't actual farm fields, they are obviously painted on, so we can plough through them, but I'd prefer not to. So I'm going to say we'll have our station on this side of the river. The line would then come this way. We could tunnel, because as you see here, this is quite a steep hill, so we'd have a tunnel through this hillside, re-emerge maybe in this area, follow this winding valley, a few tunnels and bridges here and there, of course, and as then we approach Akanmar, we want to look at diverting away over to the right, as we're currently looking at it, towards Mima. Right, so let's we've got a rough idea where we're going. If we put our station down first of all, we want maximum length, but for now we only want the 1 track. And we'll have it round about there. In fact, yeah, let's have it so the upper edge, as we're currently looking at it, is elevated. Or not, I've just jumped it. Yeah, we'll go for there. There, yeah. Took a while, but we got there. The road connection, we will build it now. That way we don't box ourselves in with our train line. Okay, so that's causing the rippled edge, which we want to avoid. So if we go from this side and direct you to stay flat, how does that look? The curb is a bit steep. Well, I say it's a bit high, a bit elevated, but it looks better than having the ripples running alongside the road's edge. So that's what we'll do. We didn't need tram lines, but we have them. Let's get rid of those now. And then we want to have this road head up here. We have a road connection waiting for us right there, of course, and that's where we're headed. So around and in. Wonderful. Now the chances of getting this line finished and up and running and the bus service set up all in one episode are quite slim. So rather than try and rush it and make a bad job, we'll take our time laying these tracks between Sayo and Mima, and that way we can make sure it looks as pretty as possible. Right, you stay level. So this is going to give us a level crossing initially, but I will change that because I'd like to have this bridge over the top of the rail line before it connects into the country road down here. What's this fence for? It's a large fence. Oh, it's oh, I see what that is. Yes, it's for the farm. Well, that's quite nice. Little pastures. Well, I say little, they're quite big. Yes, as I was saying, we'll have this bridge over eventually, so as long as a train line is flat, which it is, I don't care about the road dipping because that's not going to be a permanent solution. And then which way we're heading, we want to head up here, so we need to start curving just a fraction. This is going to be, as you can imagine, quite expensive to achieve, but that's okay. Can we keep it flat? If it keep it at that gradient, will it emerge, or do we need to actually have it rising up a little? It will emerge. I think that's not too bad. It's technically classing as a flat gradient, even though it is climbing a few meters. Well, what's that, 9 meters? So it's not too bad. It would be even better if I click accept, but there you go, life lessons. There you go, roughly where it was. I forgot to put the tunnel texture on. Right, go again. I would be interested to find out if there is a way to change what the default tunnel texture is, so it would default to the standard tunnel rather than invisible. 900,000, we'll call it a million minus change. That's expensive, but it does keep it out of the way of the town. That's going to help noise pollution, of course, and it looks fine. It looks nice. Yeah, I'll happily pay the price for that. We're probably not going to be able to do much more rail construction then because of the expenses that we're going to be incurring on these tunnels, but that's okay. For example, this one, how much is this going to cost us? There you go, 800,000, and we've barely even, well, we've just left Sayo and we've already ran out of money, so there you go. That's the early game for you, and that's what happens when you spend 7 million demolishing your capital city. But yes, we've made a start. We know where we are headed. We know what the plan is. We might be able to head out from Mima, because the plan is we head this way, so we should be able to get a fair stretch of track up to maybe about here before we then have to consider where the tunnel is going to be through this rather expansive mountain range, coming out here and then following. Where's our track? Yeah, that's the plan. So we'll do that. 52 people, my days, you're popular. Where's the train? It's on its way back. You've already got 26 on there. We're going to have to duplicate you without a shadow of a doubt. It's good to see that it's popular. That's what we want to see. We want a popular service. As I said in the last episode, however, this line, eventually we might change it so it heads straight from UWAJIMA. But for now, it's fine. How many people do you have heading back? 20, so almost a full load for your trip back. How much do you make with a full load? Let's see here. Good timing. That's not a lot of money, but I suppose it's not a lot of people. But as long as you're making a profit, it doesn't really matter, does it? More profit would be nice, of course, but it is what it is, and we are where we are. Right, back to Mima then. In fact, no. Before we do any more on that, we do want to think about double tracking or putting passing loops in on this stretch, because we could run 2 services, at least on the pickups from Myoten. As you can probably pick up, I'm interchanging Myoten and Mima quite frequently. I do have to quickly Google that at some point and see what is the correct pronunciation. No doubt both of them are incorrect. Right, let's see, 75, wonderful, there you go. That's one passing point. Let's put the signals down. Passage version and stop version. So we want a stop version because the train could potentially be stopping here. And we'll have the same on this end. We don't need to put any intermediate signals in because at most we're having 2 trains down here. For now, in the future we're going to need more, of course, but for now it's fine. Is that roughly halfway? Give or take. I think we'll have maybe another short passing loop here. So we'll do that because I don't want to double track the bridges and the tunnels just yet because of the cost. So for now we'll stick to these open stretches of track. I mean, we can still comfortably fit in a decent sized passing loop here, so it's no problem. What are you doing there? Yeah, let's turn our train line into an Indiana Jones Temple of Doom style ski ramp. That's what you want. I'm loving this this line here. That's fantastic. Let's not do that. Let's try that again, and maybe a little bit further from the bridge will be a lot nicer. There we go. Hello, bear. There we go. That's that. Again, stopping signals, and we'll have one there. Hop over to the other side and boom, there we go. Right, this double track is going to need ballast painting on it because it's got the grass showing through, which we don't want. I don't think it looks very nice at all. Let's get the ballast paintbrush. There we go. Drop it down to around about 10 and just run it over this passing loop, and we'll do the same on the passing loop a little further behind us just to hide that grassy texture because it just looks bad. I mean, it looks good if you're trying to simulate a disused railway, of course, but we are not doing that. So we want this to look like it's well travelled, well used. Right, so just a little bit more down to the tunnel, and then that should be us pretty much sorted. There we go. Come on, that's the one. That's better. So we have passing loops ready. I don't think we can afford to duplicate the train though. Let's see. Oh, we can. That's quite a cheap train then. How much does it cost? Waiting for free path. Well, that's fine. I don't care about that. Details. Around about, I guess it's about one point. Oh, in fact, it said I never knew that. Where are you? There you are. Details. It actually tells you what the full price is. 1,123,136 yen. And obviously you can see it decreasing over time due to depreciation. Well, yeah, I like that. I never ever knew that. There you go. Life lessons. Right, let's put a couple of signals down here as well, actually. And we'll have a departure signal there. In fact, they can be one way. Trains never head back to. We can't afford it. Look at that. We can't even afford a $2,000 signal. GG. Well done. Okay, so that's now encouraged the train to start departing the depot, and it can wait here, although now it has a free passage since that train has passed, so that's all good in the hood. How many do you have waiting here? 8. So your first pickup is going to be quite small. How many did you pick up? Let's see, 20. And while we have a lot of people wanting to head from Myoten to Izumimachi, we don't have the same amount of volume in return. But that's fine. How many do we have waiting here? 71. Good lord, that's a lot of people. It's pleasing to see. Nothing wrong with that at all. Right, so up to 1 million. Obviously, we can't continue our line through to Sayo. It's going to be very expensive. So what can we do with our 1 million? Is there anything we can tweak, expand, that sort of thing? We already have 2 trains running this line. Could we run 3? Is that an option? You've just left. And again, It's everybody heading into UWAJIMA rather than people heading out of UWAJIMA. Neither of the trains leaving UWAJIMA were full, but there's more than enough to fill 2 trains on the way back. Yeah, just about. So, yeah, 2 trains on there is fine for now, even if I have to wait a little while. How are our bus services doing now? We have a lot of people at the Central Exchange, which is good. Again, it's this bus service 01, that's the popular one. Everybody heading to Ono Street. Which one is Ono Street? That one, there it is. So people could walk that. Lazy buggers. There you go. At least we're getting the uptake and people wanting to use the service, which is fantastic. In fact, let's go to the line manager. Let's look at all of our lines. No, not that. Let's go to the line statistics. How are we doing? Let's drag this. Let's see them all at once. So the brick freight is losing money. The bus service, not overly concerned about. Well, look at that. 5 out of 30. I think I've overdone it there. Let's just jump over to that service and have a quick look at it. Did we put too many on? Well, we clearly did. We don't need that many. Let's say, I don't really care if we've got people on them or not, but let's halve the amount. So let's get rid of 5 of them. And we'll just take every other one and sell them. There we go. Right, back to the line statistic overview. Let's have a quick look here. Yes, our brick freight is losing money. I wonder why that is. Oh, I see. You're just in one of your off years, or you haven't made your delivery yet for this year. Right, okay, so that's not a major concern. As we can see, there are years where we don't make any money at all due to just the way the line times itself out. But that's fine. We're making more than enough profit on these... Profit? Not Moses. Profit on these 3 years to offset the losses here. I'd rather have no losses, of course. So what I might do is duplicate that train. And that's our brick freight train. That is running from over here to over here. As the train just left, how many we have? 7 on the platform. We do have a cargo train around here somewhere. I've just seen it. Where's it gone? Maybe we don't. Is that the one? Is that the brick train? Nope, that's food. Is that the brick train? Nope, that's also food. That's stone, so it's not you. Ah, so you're almost back, and you've only produced another 7 to be picked up. So having 2 on that line wouldn't be feasible, because one would be, well, one would be leaving right about now, after the correct spacing. There are only 7 bricks on it, so that would be ridiculous. I wonder what the problem is there then. Is it the amount of stored stone? Do we need more stone trucks? Perhaps. How many do we have bringing the stone over? Is it just the 1 or is it 2? We have 2. Do we need 3? We have plenty of stone available. We can always drag more stone down by putting in the... so increasing the amount of trucks we have coming down here, so that's no problem. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and bump up the amount of stone trains. I say stone train. It's not a train made of stone, of course. It's a train hauling stone. Right, you. Manage vehicle. And we're going to duplicate you. Not enough money. Brilliant. Never mind then. But that'll be the next move then, to have 3 stone trains coming down here. Would that cause a problem when they're waiting here? Let's see. Which way do they go? No, because we could have 1 train on the platform. 1 train waiting here, 1 train waiting here, and even 1 train waiting here. So we could have 1, 2, 3, 4 trains before they'd have to wait on the main through line, which is fine. So we have that capacity to stable the trains as it stands. So we can comfortably put another one on as and when we have the money, which should hopefully be pretty soon. Do we have a train nearing delivery? We do. Let's just increase the speed just to get him through. Come on. There you go. Get in there. Get in there. And what we'll do is we'll get ready right here. As soon as he drops off, we should be able to afford it. Nope. How much do these trains cost then? Well, let's find out. We can do our little trick. 1.9 million. Okay, right. So Well, of course, yes, the passenger trains only have 2 wagons. These are hauling, is it 7? Yeah, it's 7, so of course they're going to be more expensive. So we need 2 million. So we're not doing that anytime soon, although we have another train on its way in. Are you going to drop off 900,000 yen worth of stone? I highly doubt it. We have a lot of food here. Do we need more trucks delivering the food into UWAJIMA? We already have plenty. I don't think we need another one, do we? No, but what I do want to do is sort out your line, because I don't like the way you're looping around on the station. So after the freight exchange, go there. That's better. Do you know what? I think we do want a couple more on here. Let's pick on you. We got 15. Let's bump it up to 20. Bang. There we go. That should start eating through some of this. Okay then. What could we do? We've got a lot of bricks here. Where are all these bricks headed to? Izumi Marchi. How many bricks are you receiving? Only 20%-ish of your demand. So we can go ahead and stick some more on here. And again, should we go for another 5? I think so. I mean, if we're going to have 3 stone trains running down here, they should be able to keep up with the production that they will now need to satisfy 5 trains, 5 extra road vehicles. Almost up to 2 million, so not far off affording another stone train. We need another big money earner to come in. We've got one waiting here, of course. Waiting for the stone train to leave, which it has now done. I don't mind that waiting around there, because they're only waiting to drop off, not load up. So they shouldn't block each other in, if that makes sense, because all they're coming in is dropping and then buggering off. So if we have one waiting here for the production materials to arrive to satisfy a full load, if that makes sense, it's not going to happen. I'm talking rubbish. Right, 2 million. Let's get that stone train. Bang. 3. Right. I want to edit these because I don't like the locomotive colour. Is it going to cost me too much to be able to do this? I bet it is. I bet I can't afford it. There you go. Look, can't afford it. Brilliant. Eventually we will get rid of that grey paint on the locomotives, because they look like they've just driven through a big tub of grey paint. Doesn't look like it's been carefully applied, shall we say. There you go. Okay, well, I think given the money situation, we might have to call it a day here. Didn't get a lot done at all today, but that's the way it goes. Well, I suppose we got this done, and we've rerouted some of the lines through UWAJIMA, and they seem to be working quite nicely. This one is ridiculously popular. Oh, that's a different one. It was this one before. Was it always this one? Have I just confused myself as to what line was busy? I have. Right. We can easily... No, we can't. We've got negative 300,000 yen. Yeah, we're going to have to duplicate these in the very near future, because clearly 5 is not cutting the mustard and we need more. So yeah, I think for now we'll leave it here today. What I'll do is, between this episode and episode 7, I'll let the game run with the date progression paused. In fact, I'll pause it now so I don't forget. And that will allow us to accumulate a nice amount of money in order to finish that line over to Sayo. And there were a few other improvements that we're wanting to start doing as well. So yeah, I'll leave it running for a little bit with the date pause so we don't miss any unlocks, of course. And I'll get to about, if we should aim for 10 million, and then when we get the 10 million, we'll pick it up in episode 7. I'll not make any other changes. I might add a few vehicles on here and there, like we saw there on that bus service. We could add more on there. I might get that done between episodes, but we shall see. Before we leave, let's have another last look at our line overview. So the stone freight, that's losing money at the moment. That's fine. We now have 3 trains on there, so that should change. This one, still losing money, which is unfortunate. Oh no, it's just jumped into profit, as we can see, so that's all good. Look at that. That's a nice little money earner there. That passenger line to Mima and Izumi Marchi. Good to see. Everything else is looking good. The bricks delivery is losing a bit of money, but that's fine. As long as you're not losing hundreds of thousands or eventually millions, it's not a major concern. I think we'll also have a quick look before we leave at our town statistics as well, and we'll look at the ones where we've been working. So to do that, we'll go to sort by growth, because while you might have background growth, as we can see here, plus 10% in the towns we haven't touched, once you start getting, oh no, even some of these 20% growth, but yeah, we can clearly see the 3-4 towns that we've been working on, and we can see how they're looking. Noise emissions pretty poor in UWAJIMA. Traffic's good. It could be better in UWAJIMA, of course. We might want to address that. Station overcrowding. Good everywhere else except for UWAJIMA. Again, adding extra buses onto the lines should resolve that. In terms of size, obviously UWAJIMA blazing a trail there with over 1,000 residents. The next highest is Yokohama. We have just under 400. Passenger destinations. Again, UWAJIMA, but good connections in Izumimachi and Iwanamamori. Mima, that should jump up when we connect it to Sayo, of course. Private transport, again, UWAJIMA blazing a trail. What about cargo? Oh, that just sorts by the cargo type. I'm not sure how that's sorting that, but I've messed that up, so let's double back to growth. Iwanamori, half of the bricks, not too much of the food, we could look at that. Izumimachi needs more bricks, but we did just chuck some more vehicles on that, so that should start to creep up. UWAJIMA, my word, you need food. I think we just chucked some more food trucks on that line, so that should be okay. Yep, look at that, we've eaten through that quite nicely. Looking at this here, we could get some more stone haulage vehicles, especially now we have 3 trains running the line. And again, did I increase already? I don't know. If I did, we've done it again. Another 5. Lovely. Before we go, we have enough money to add some extra buses on this line, and we're going to go to 10 and see how that does, and that should start eating through this backlog. So yeah, there we go. Let's slow it back down to 1x acceleration for our traditional cab ride outro. And where do we want to go today? Let's have a little think here. Well, we never went from Izumimachi to Mima. We have a train just leaving, so let's do that. So let's jump on board. I think we went into Izumimachi last time, but we've not been the opposite way, so we'll go this way today. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, I'd really appreciate hitting that thumbs up button down below. And if you haven't subscribed and would like to do so, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. For more content on Transport Fever 2, or if RimWorld or something else is your cup of tea, there's also that available. Well, there's RimWorld available. Other games may be forthcoming in the future. In fact, here's one for you. If there's something you would like to see, let me know, and if I have it, I'll consider doing a series on it. If I don't have it, I'll consider buying it, especially if it's one of the games that would tickle my fancy. Obviously things like Transport Fever 2, RimWorld, you know, simulators, builders, tycoon games, that sort of thing, colony management. So anything from, I don't know, maybe Civilization all the way through to SimCity, City Skylines, I don't know what it's called, I've forgotten the name of it, Cities in Motion 2, or any sort of strategy games, tycoon games, something in any of the tycoon games. Obviously we've got Railway Empire, which is obviously very similar to Transport Fever 2 in some respects. Yeah, just let me know, and I'll always consider it, no problem at all. Okay then, so that's enough rambling from me for one day. All that remains for me to say is, as always, ladies and gentlemen, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.